Alright, so you join me on a very cold and blustery December day down on the Norton Disney complex. I turned up here this morning for 48 hours. We're only a week away now from Christmas, so happy Christmas to you all, but I thought I'd get out and try and have a little fish before Christmas, before all the festivities with the family. So got 48 hours down here, and I walked around the complex this morning. I was hoping to get on Turner's Lake with this big wind that we've got coming in, really big westerly. We've got some quite good weather for December really. We could get double figures, 10-11 degrees tonight, and a bit of a pressure drop as well. So I wanted to get on Turner's, but where this wind's hacking into was already taken, so there wasn't any point having a look around the rest of it too much, because I really wanted to be on this wind in this weather, because it's fresh wind, strong wind, low pressure. It's just perfect carp conditions. So I've ended up on Pettit's Lake. It's not really a lake I wanted to fish because it is their big fish water. Hasn't done a bite in the past week or so by all accounts from the bailiff, although it hasn't been fished too heavily. So I had a little walk around, didn't really see too much, and there was, weirdly for a day ticket complex such as this, there was no one on the lake when I turned up at all. The bailiff was set up on the other side but not actually fishing. So I've ended up in Peg 2, which apparently is quite a good area out into the middle for this time of year, and it's also, as you can see behind me, I've got the wind hacking into this corner as well. So I'm going to give it 24 hours on here, and if nothing happens and I don't really see much, then I may well move on to Billy's for the last 24 hours, because I really just want to try and nick a bite or two from somewhere if I can. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see how we get on here. I'm going to get some rods sorted, get them out there, and then we'll have a little chat to you about how we're going about fishing on Pettit's. Alright, so I've just got a couple of solid bags out there on 2 of the rods, and the other rod I'm going to have a little bit over to the side, and I'm going to put a little bit of bait over it. Not mad, because we are coming into the end of December, just before Christmas, and I don't think the lake's done a bite in ages apparently, but no one's really fished it, and the weather is bang on for it. So I'm going to have 2 solid bags out there, just to see if I can pick up a fish on those. But the other spot, I'm just going to give it a little bit of bait, probably only 5 to 7 spons, something like that, nothing crazy. So we're going to knock up a bit of the bait that we're going to be using. So the base of it is going to be good old Jolly Green Giant. This time of year and in these lakes at Norton Disney, they absolutely love sweet corn. So I'm actually going to knock in 2 tins worth of that into this mix. So in they go, all the juice and everything. Good old Jolly Green Giant. This is probably not all going to get used, but I'll freeze what I don't use anyway when I get home. And to that, in this bucket to the side of me, at home for the last few days, I've mixed up a load of bait, and I've been glugging it in loads of the Code Activate liquid from NutriBait. So in this bucket I've got some flaked maize, because they see a lot of it in these lakes, because they sell it on site. So it's a really good thing, and the reason why I put it in there as well is it soaks up loads of liquid. So if you do it a day or 2 in advance, this bucket is basically dry, and it's had a whole bottle of liquid go in here. And in with the flaked maize, we've got some 8mm Code pellets, we've got some Code solubles. So these look quite big boilies, they're like 18 millers, but they will break down over the course of 4 or 5 hours to basically just a ground bait on the bottom, hardly anything at all. And then we've just got a couple, not many, just actual 15mm Code boilies as well. So we've got a right little mix in here, all glugged up. It smells absolutely amazing. So we're going to put a couple of handfuls in with the sweet corn, and then we're going to get a few spawns out there and then put a rod on the top. And then we're going to give it till the morning and see if anything happens. So we're going to get this out there, and then we'll chat to you in a little while. Alright, so yesterday was a complete and utter disaster. As you can see behind me, I'm now not in the same swim. The storm that came through was absolutely brutal. I did not realise it was going to be like that, and I set up plumb in the most exposed part of the complex, I think. Just absolutely hacking in wind, 45, 50, 60 mile an hour gusts, and it was absolutely brutal. This morning, got up, rods were still out there, hadn't seen a single thing, and my bivvy was just folding over in the wind, just absolutely getting trashed and the pegs were starting to come out, and then a big raft of weed came through and wiped my rods out, and I'd had enough, so I reeled in, packed everything up, and I thought I'd just have one walk around the complex and see if I can find anywhere to get my rods out that's a bit more sheltered. And a chap that was on Billy's Lake, he'd had a couple, and it's a bit more heavily stocked, this lake, and he'd had a couple in the disabled swim, and he was then moving out and going home. It's a little bit more sheltered, so I thought I'd just come set up in here and flip my rods out for tonight and stay the night and head off in the morning. But as I was setting up, it started to rain and I was rushing to get my bivvy up, and the wind was still hacking through, and it absolutely trashed my bivvy as I was getting it up and snapped one of the main poles. Luckily I've managed to bodge it up for tonight, so I have actually got a shelter up for tonight. But yeah, it's been an absolute disaster of a session so far. But as you can see, the rods are right behind me. I'm on Billy's Lake now. Found a nice little spot out there, put 3 rods out there on solid bags and put 5 or 6 bombs over the top of the mix I had yesterday, made up anyway. Not really expecting much to happen, to be honest with you, because it's just, in my head is now one of those sessions where everything that's happened badly has gone wrong. So you never know though, the rods are out there. This swim did do a couple of bites over the last couple of days, so there is a chance still, if they're still down this way, but I don't know. The wind's backing off a bit now, so I'm going to have myself a nice festive beer in a little while and another mince pie, and sit in my bivvy and feel a bit sorry for myself. Fingers crossed we'll have something to show you soon, if one happens during the night. If not, I'll catch up with you in the morning. Alright, so good morning. As you can see, the rods behind me haven't moved a bit. They're completely motionless. Haven't had a beep all night, which is kind of what I've expected with how this session's gone, to be honest with you. And in a way, it's kind of summed up my whole season and year, really. This year's angling for me has been probably one of my worst since I've been carp fishing that I can remember, at least in the last 5 or 6 years. This session kind of really sums it up for me. Quite a lot of effort. Putting in the work, moving around and being proactive, and a very little reward for it. So I don't know what it is, I just haven't really got going this year on several different waters and moving around. I just feel like the luck's been against me, and at times probably, if I'm honest with myself, some quite bad angling as well, I would imagine. So that's pretty much it for the year this year. It's looking like it's going to be a blank. The rods are still out, I've still got my bivvy and that to pack down, so you never know. There might still be a chance of a Christmas present to come yet, but it's not looking very hopeful. But I've got plenty to look forward to going into the new year. I've got a France trip booked in February, a really exciting, fairly new lake that's not seen loads of videos and stuff done on there. So I'm going out there with loads of the NutriBaits team. We're going to have a right old social. It's probably going to be absolutely Baltic and probably quite hard in February, but you never know, there's a chance for a big old fish over there in France still, even at that time of the year, especially if you get a mild week. So there'll be videos on that coming in the new year. I've also got plenty of winter trips planned. I love getting out in the winter. I don't know what it is about it, but I really enjoy my winter fishing, even though it's not being very productive for me this year so far. But I hope you've enjoyed some of the videos that I've put out this year. I've really enjoyed making them. Some of them have been good fun, lots of socials with mates and stuff this year, which have been really good. And so there'll be plenty of more of that next year, loads more reviews and other videos, loads of venues. So click like and subscribe if you haven't. Have a great Christmas and a new year, and I'll catch you in the next one.